Yo, so we're back like we never left. It's your boy Rico Slade. I'm here with the indomitable Nico. Nico, how you feeling again today?
I'm doing well, man. Doing pretty good. I'm happy to be doing the podcast again.
All right, that's what's up.
We're
So
back on.
Nico has. So this is a conversation you want to have. You want to have a conversation about Marvel, which
Yeah,
is extensive conversation, and you want to
yeah, this was
discuss.
gonna need more than one episode.
Yeah, this was going to be extensive because it's like the multiverse. It's diverse. It's has depth. It has so much volume.
We can do part two, three, and four, whatever. We're trying to diversify all the
There
topics.
we go. There we go. So you want to talk about Marvel villains? Is that right?
To make it more specific, yeah, but I want to talk about everything. But yeah, we can start with villains.
There's absolutely no way you can talk about everything. But let's
I
just
mean,
start
not in
here.
one video, you see.
Let's just. All
What
right.
do you think? What do you think? Who's your favorite one?
Who's my favorite? What?
Villain?
Marvel villain.
Yeah.
All right. So favorite Marvel villain. It depends on effectiveness and those that I agree with.
No,
So
I agree with. That's what I mean.
agree with. Oh man. I gotta say, just to keep it surface level, I do agree with how Killmonger was presented in the movie. But as far as the comics, I would say I do lean to Magneto's ideologies, just about how he felt. Though I think ultimately he was wrong about when it came to the mutant genes and whatnot. But I do appreciate his by any means necessary type of approach. Um, I would say just to keep it surface level, those are some of my favorite, I guess, ideologies. But
Why keep it surface level?
because I'm all right, cool. Well, let's
What's wrong
go.
with the deep waters?
All right, well, all right. So let's so as far as like really like deep Marvel, so one of my like I'll say one of my more favorite say villains. One of my more favorite villains is like I did like Thanos for a little while, but I do like Mephisto. I do like
What? No, that's a demon.
yeah, but
I don't fuck with Mephisto.
I like how he's not a huge player. He's got roles in Marvel, but Marvel's got gods and huge deities, so it really diminishes the aspect of the devil himself in the Marvel universe. He's not as such a strong and predominant player as some of these other epic level villains. I do like Apocalypse. I do like Apocalypse as far as he's super extreme in regards to Magneto. He's like a survival by he's like survival of the fittest type villain who's been around for thousands of years. I think he was supposed to be one of the first mutants. But I've had villains that over the years, you kind of get used to. One of my villains that I despise, like I despise Mr. Sinister. I despise some of I like Carnage. Like I despise Carnage as a character. He's crazy, but I despise his wanton and unadulterated insanity. Like his willingness to want to destroy all reality in certain points. It's just that's just too
Carnage,
much
the
for
one
me.
from Venom, right?
Carnage's the one, yeah, he's the offspring of Venom. So
Do you remember the Ronin?
the Ronin, I do
He
remember Ronin
worked. He worked with the
as far as yeah
with the Creed.
with the
No, not
Kree.
the. Yeah, the Creed. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Kree. So when it came to like the Secret Wars and between the Skrull and the Kree, I really didn't follow those comic books strings because it was basically like it was the Skrull were like these super shapeshifters. These Kree were like they thought they were like the gifted ones of the universe. And I know the Guardians of the Galaxy talk. They touch on those. Fantastic Four touches on those. But they really were never any of my favorite comics to follow. I really never gotten really
Oh,
into
okay.
Fantastic Four. I did like Doctor Doom as a villain, but he got a little bit megalomaniac a little bit because he meant well for his country, but the levels of which he would take it would be so destructive. Like he would destroy his own. He just literally took it too far. Genius level, he mastered technology and he mastered magic. But I remember there was an episode of SpiderMan where he gained the powers of the Beyonder, and his subconscious was monstrous. To be honest, like he's like one of those higher level individuals, like Galactus and
I really want to see Galactus in the MCU, man.
I want to see him presented properly because he was in the MCU.
Well, yeah.
Not that he wasn't in the MCU before that. Dude, he was represented in the Fantastic Four with the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer was great in that movie, but the movie was trash. Movie was trash. But villains, there's so many villains that Mojo, when I used to watch back in the day with X-Men. Sentinels are like a consistent threat, but Sentinels aren't evil. Sentinels are just built to orchestrate and carry out a really racist, bigoted, and
Sentinels.
Sentinels.
Which were those?
All right, Sentinels were machines that were made to basically quell the mutant.
You mean like the
population.
Matrix?
Kind of, but not in the Matrix. You never saw X-Men Days of Futures Past?
Oh, I did years ago. I'm just getting I'm rewatching all of the X-Men movies now. Okay. And I'm only on X-Men the Origins.
Yeah.
I mean the first mutants,
first class. Yeah, so
yeah.
First Class. Once you get past that, you're gonna find out what Sentinels are. If you really were to watch the X-Men anime show, you would really find out X-Men fought these machines called Sentinels, and Sentinels basically were given a program to protect the human race. So what they would do is they would hunt and capture mutants, but they had to go off with the mutants that were identified, and then they found a way because Sentinels were self-upgrading. So every couple of rounds, Sentinels would upgrade into like the next incarnation.
Like that army that the Eternals fought.
I never watched the Eternal movie, but maybe so, something like that. Eternals was just that was
Eternals was trash, but I just watch it because it's the MCU.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch every MCU movie, but basically Sentinels are basically what a slimmed down version of Ultron. What Ultron was, just not trying to be funny. That's what a Sentinel basically is. It's a machine that is not the latter ones are sentient, but they have a strict protocol. Find mutants, capture mutants, and after a while they said destroy mutants. And then what happened was the protocol went even further because it was like, okay, just like Terminator, the way to keep mutants from happening, a computer does a calculation. Well, mutants are just human derivatives. It's just a genome from humans. So to stop mutants, you destroy humanity. That was the next initiative. And then they went as far as like there's a higher Sentinel strain called Nimrod. And I was literally reading that one. Nimrod is like almost indestructible. Like he's hard to stop. But he's sentient, so he understands, but he still follows the code of destroying mutants and destroying humanity.
So you think will you put the Scarlet Witch as an antagonist, as a villain?
She's been both. She's been an anti-hero. She's been a villain. It just kind of depends on what part of arc she's at. I didn't watch WandaVision, so I don't really know her in that incarnation. But I get it.
No, I can tell you more on the comic side. You're not so much MCU. I'm the other way.
Yeah, and in the comics, these arcs go every direction. You have so many aspects, like when Venom when Venom was really hard pressed with Eddie Brock and he was really going after Peter Parker and SpiderMan, until he got to a point where he was an anti-hero and he was like a good guy, he had to just tone it down. In the MCU, he never was a bad guy. He was just he just got on Eddie Brock.
Well, Venom was a bad guy. The symbiote on Tobey's Spider-Man, but not in the new actual Venom MCU.
In the Venom, yeah.
He was actually absolutely.
He was a Venom. He was a villain, and that was a terrible rendition of Venom. They just stuck him in there to stick him in there. That shit. But wait, have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, man, that movie had me almost crying because like each villain was different, and it wasn't like some of them were like Sandman really wasn't a villain. Doc Ock really wasn't a villain. His machine had taken over. Electro really wasn't a villain. The Lizard wasn't really a villain. He was
No, but shut up. But when you think about it, none of them are villains. That's
no,
the reason.
no,
You have
bro.
your
Green
no
Goblin was
hold on, hold on.
Green Goblin was
You
clearly a
have
villain.
wait, you have an opinion, right? You have
Okay,
a take on something for
okay,
whatever reason. It's not good or bad. It's your opinion.
okay.
It's just that the difference between a hero and a villain is the decision that you make and how far
True,
you want to go with that and
true.
your abilities. Does that make sense? I
Okay,
can be a human and I can say, "Oh, let's kill all humans," but I'm not a super, person. So, but if Thor wants to go evil and then he wants to kill humans, then he's a threat and he's a villain. So, a villain is just what decisions you make, how you think, and
okay.
how far you want to
All
go
right.
with
So
things.
tell me something. In No Way Home, right? Was the Green Goblin not a villain based on his motives, based on
To
what he was trying to
me,
accomplish?
the Green Goblin and the Ronin, to me, are the most like actual villains,
Really?
like
Okay.
100% villains. And I'm gonna tell you why. The
Okay.
difference between the compare. Oh, you say you don't remember the Ronin very well, so I'll say the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin was just, to me, what I've seen, just full of straight evil.
Okay.
He was just very resentful, wanted to take revenge for everything, just upset at the world.
Mm-hmm.
But Thanos, he had a good idea. He wanted to, just like Ultron, he wanted to save the world, but by saving the world he wanted to kill everyone.
Yeah, by certain means.
So
Yeah.
to me that's the difference. So to me,
Okay.
the Green Goblin, to me, he is a villain because he's just full of hate himself.
Yeah.
He's like, your intentions are bad. Thanos' intentions weren't bad. He was just stupid. He had no logic. He went crazy.
Mm,
But to me, he didn't have actual ill will. To me, the Green Goblin did.
yeah. Green Goblin wanted absolute dominance and control.
Green
Um.
Goblin was just evil, just straight up evil.
Yeah, but it kind of upticked. So the lowest the once they got Doc Ock fixed, he was normal. It was just he had too
Yeah.
much noise going on in his head. Then next came
And
after
you know
that
that
was
happened in the comics too, right?
yeah, yeah.
SpiderMan, he made a house to fix all the villains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then try to do like some kind of rehabilitation for all of them. But it's like Doc Ock was the most calm once he got fixed. Then came Sandman, who he was distrustful, and he snapped really easy. But then and what came after that was I don't know, it's between and then it was Lizard. Lizard was driven by animal instinct. He wasn't evil, but he was driven by animal instinct. He was just really dangerous. And then Electro was just he was nobody in the other world. He was unattractive in the other world, but now he was in this world. He had an opportunity to have power, and he didn't want to leave, so he was opportunistic. And then from there, you got does that make sure that's all of them? Because there was what 5? There should have been 6.
Yeah, that's all of them.
So and then the top of that is um is the Green Goblin, who was evil, and he was Jekyll and Hyde because you know Norman Osborn was himself, but when the Green Goblin took over, you couldn't tell. But no, Spider-Man could tell because he could tell something changed about him, and that's why he.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
he
he.
knew him.
Yeah, and well, no, it was Tom. It was Tom Holland's character that webbed him initially because they all felt. Well, he saw that he met the other Spider-Man after, but he felt the change in him. The Spider sense got set off, and then everything kind of transpired.
The
And
tingly thing.
yeah, man. And then with Aunt May dying, and it was crazy, man. And then everybody forgetting, and she was still dead. Oh man, that was hard
I
to
got
think.
I got really, and I mean really excited when the bad guys show up, and then Tom Spider-Man like comes down and like falls on the ground or like whatever on the Statue of Liberty, and then the other two Spider-Mans like like boom, they get in like position like behind him, like here and there, like seeing all three of them. To me, that was
Yeah,
insane.
that thing was
That was
right,
my
man.
childhood in there.
Man,
I was like,
I just thought part of
man,
it was kind of silly.
no,
Like I was like,
don't do him like that.
I was like, how do we have in Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Why were they putting Captain America's shield on the Statue of Liberty? That was the silliest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, you know, they gotta do their patriotism bullshit.
Yeah, I was
Just
like, that was a
like,
little
I
bit
mean,
much.
my favorite superhero has been Spider-Man, but we're talking about villains. Have you seen the trailer for Doctor Strange?
Yes, I did.
Both.
Both of them. And that's it. The multiverse is I didn't think Marvel's going to go this direction, but between the multiverses, with Spider-Man, with Doctor Strange, with Quan-Chi, with man, with the what's that? Ant-Man, and going through the quantum verse is going to come out.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the
Wasp with the quantum verse. Yeah, man,
and
that's
in the Quantumania where Kang is gonna come up. He's gonna
yeah,
be the villain.
that's crazy. And like, and then you also, like I said, then you have Doctor Strange, and that's going to like trips into the multiverse, and then Loki with the multiverse, in
Loki's
different
gonna come up with
timelines.
season 2.
Man, it
Oh,
is.
and there's very, very big rumors that Elizabeth Olsen is gonna extend her contract with Disney.
Who? What does she do? Who is
The
she?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, I thought we were talking about, because I know they got a new Captain Marvel, but it is what it is.
No, that's
So,
Brie Larson.
oh, okay. Yeah, they're actually replacing her, man. But it is one of those things, man. But hey, look, I gotta wrap it right here. But we can definitely have this conversation again. But we definitely got to bring a little bit more to the table, man. We got to bring a little bit more to the table. We'll pick your 3 top villains. Why? A villain that you like, that you can cheer to them. A villain that you don't like, and then a villain that was necessary for the story. So, all right, Nico.
Everybody, let us know in the comments what you think. Rico's in a hurry. I'm rushed. Have a good one. Leave a like. Tell your friends to watch us. If not, they're missing out. And Scarlet Witch is hot, and I'm in love with her. Have a good one. Thank you, Rico. Take it easy.
Yeah, man.